Hello students, welcome to Narayana online class. I am Rahul and today we are going to discuss paper discussion of 9th January. So let's start the discussion. The first section which we have is a single correct answer. It has 20 multiple choice correct and it has one correct option out of this. The marking scheme is +4 and -1. We have to read the instruction carefully. It will help us to analyze our strategy in exam. So first question, a temperature for which the reading on Kelvin and Fahrenheit scale are same. So you have to find at what temperature the reading of Fahrenheit and Kelvin scale have the same value. So if you see here, we have the formula plus 32. This is the formula, right, we use for this. Now here it is given that K and F value are same. So you just substitute the value in place of K, you have to substitute F. So F will be 9 by 5 F minus 273 plus 32. Okay, simplify a little further, we will get F value as 574.6 degree Fahrenheit, and that will be the answer of this question. Okay, so answer of this question will be 574.6 degree Fahrenheit. Just because we need the answer in F, we will replace K by F, okay, and solve. Let's move to the next question, student. Here the resistance of a platinum wire is 15 ohm at 20 degrees Celsius. This wire is put in a hot furnace and is found to be at 40 degrees Celsius. The temperature of the hot furnace is given with alpha is given as 3.6 into 10 to the power minus 30. Okay. Now at 15 ohm is given at 20 degrees Celsius. You have to find what will be the temperature of when it will be having 14. So we'll let it as T. Okay. Now if you see this, we know RT formula. RT is equals to R naught 1 plus alpha delta T. Okay. So if we see here 1 plus alpha delta T, just substitute the value here. In first case, this is at 0 degree. Okay. So just substitute the value here. RT is given to be 15 ohm. So just we have to substitute here for 15 and 40. So we will take RT1 by RT2 ratio, right? It will be equals to R naught. R naught both side will be cancelled out. 1 plus alpha will be there, delta T1 and delta T2. This will cancel out here. RT1 and RT2 values are known to us. Okay. So 15 by 40. This value is 15 by 40. Now you substitute the value here. First case if you take here, it will be alpha T2, and for second case what will be the value? It will be 1 plus 20 T, right? 20 alpha. So if you see here, 20 alpha. What we have done here for this value, for this value we have done it, here it will be 40 by 15. We have taken this as, so we have taken the first one as the first temperature will be this 40 by 15. So it will simplify to 8 by 3. Okay. Now you do the calculation. There's just the cross multiplication, you have to do it. So cross multiply here, 8 1 plus 20 alpha is equals to 3 1 plus alpha T2. Now if you simplify, you can substitute the alpha value in last also. So if you simplify here, we are getting 8 plus 160 alpha is equals to 3 plus 6 alpha 2. Okay. Now just substitute the value of alpha and simplify, you have to get the value of T2. Okay. So T2, when you will simplify, T2 will be coming as 516 degrees Celsius, and that will be the answer of this question. Okay. So students, we have used the linear expansion formula and just compared their ratio. That's it. So let's move to the next question. An aluminum measuring rod which is correct at 5 degree measure the length of line at as 80 centimeter and 45 degree. If the thermal coefficient, student, is the linear expansion for aluminum. So for such question, I have always told you that just draw the table. Okay, first is that for 1 centimeter we have to draw. At 1 centimeter it is calibrated at 5 degree. So and the next temperature is 45 degree. So 5 degree obviously it will give correct reading, but for this it will be 1 plus alpha delta T. Right, this it will be the given value. Now we need to find the value at 80 centimeter. When we have 80 centimeter at 5 degree, so obviously it will give the, because at 5 degree it is calibrated, so it will give the correct reading. But the difference will come when we have here. So 1 plus alpha. No, so what is the temperature change? Because it was 5, it was giving correct reading. Now it is 45. So this alpha is 40. This alpha delta T is 40. Now you substitute the value of delta T here, 81 plus 2.5 into 10 to the power minus 5 into 40. If you substitute all this value and simplify, it will come as 80.08, and that will be the answer of this question, student. So what we have done basically here we have substituted, we know that at 5 degree it will be calibrated correctly. Only at 45 degree we have to measure it. So this temperature difference, it is not from 0. Okay, it is not from 0. Here this change is from 5 to 45. Okay, so let's move to the next question now. A bimetallic strip is given. Okay, so bimetallic strip is like this. Now generally this hole is called as, this is the thickness T. So this hole we consider in formula, this hole is T2T. Okay, so if you have to find the radius of curvature of bimetallic strip, you know radius of curvature of bimetallic strip, we have already discussed this type of question. So it will be 2T alpha 2 minus alpha 1 delta T. 2T is the thickness, student, here. So total by each, here it is total, we have to take in 2 centimeters. So we have to take here the total as 2 centimeter. This is given as 2 centimeter. So 2 centimeter will convert this into meter. Alpha 2 and alpha 1 value are given here, 32 minus 19 into 10 to the power minus 6. I hope you got this answer. And the temperature difference is 50. So just substitute the values here, 50. When you will substitute and simplify, you will get the answer as 30.77 meter, and that will be the answer of this question. So this bimetallic strip will become like this after expansion. Okay, here this is the combined thickness which we use in the formula. Okay, generally it is given that it is having this one strip thickness is given, so just be careful on that part. Let's move to the another question. The moment of inertia of a thin rod about its perpendicular bisector is I. If the temperature of the rod is increased, you have to find this. So the moment of inertia, we know it is ml square by 12. Now this rod will be rod is given a temperature, so this m l dash will change, right? So if you find here, if you substitute, we know that this l dash we can write it as, this l dash can be written as L 1 plus alpha delta T whole square by 12. Okay, now if you simplify, this is my I dash, so if you simplify this, this will be ml square by 12, and this will be 1 plus alpha delta T whole square. Now for a small substitution, student, for small value of this, you have to find what is the increase, how much is the increase. So for small value, we can write this ml square by 12. If you do the binomial expansion here, binomial expansion for small value, we can write it as 2 alpha delta T, right? You know this. So how much is the change? You can measure it. This is I dash, this is I, right? Plus this whole value will be, this is your I. So I dash I 1 plus 2 alpha delta t. So you can find here delta I from here. This will be nothing but 2 alpha delta t. Okay, delta I by I, and similarly you can find here the percentage change also. So the answer for this is 2I alpha delta t. Okay, so it is clearly visible here that this expansion will be coming as 2I alpha delta t. Let's move to the next one. The force that should be applied on the steel rod so that it will be given this. So the thermal force we have to calculate. Thermal force will be equals to A times stress. Yes, and stress can be written as alpha into strain, and strain, you know student, can be written as, this is F, so strain can be written as delta L by L, and student, delta L by L can be written as alpha delta T, Y into, this is multiplied, Y multiplied by, this is Young's modulus into strain. Young's modulus into strain, AY delta L by this, and this can be written as alpha delta T by T. Alpha delta T. This delta L by L is alpha delta T. Yes. So AY alpha delta T. Okay, now you need to substitute the value. What we have done here, just be careful on this one. We know stress is equals to this thermal stress is force per unit area. So force per unit area we have just substituted here. Thermal stress, you know, it is force per unit area. So force we need to calculate. So force will be stress into this. Then we know Young's modulus is stress by strain. So directly we have done so many questions like this. And also you know strain can be written as delta L by L, and this can be written as alpha delta T. So this substitution we have done. Now you need to simply plug the value. Area, you know, area is 10 centimeters square. The answer has to be in meters. So convert this 10 into 10 to the power minus 4. Young's modulus is given 2 into 10 to the power 11. Alpha is given, students, 10 to the power minus 50. Okay, delta T you have to calculate. So delta T will be here 30. So just do the substitution here. You will get the answer as 6 into 10 to the power 4 Newton, and that will be the answer of this question. Okay, so let's move to the next question. Here, student, a solid sphere of radius r and mass is spinning about the diameter as the axis speed o0. The temperature of the sphere increases by 100 degree without any disturbance. If the coefficient of linear expansion of the material is given, you have to find the ratio of their angular speed. So ratio of angular speed omega 1 by omega 2 you have to calculate, student. So omega 2 by omega 1 we can write it omega 2 by omega 1. Just the ratio will take it. Take the ratio of the respective values. You know the expansion L is equals to L0 1 plus alpha delta T. Spinning about this. So I will be equals to, you know, angular momentum conservation we can apply here. Angular momentum conservation. Angular momentum conservation, if we apply, we know it will be I1 omega 1 is equals to I2 omega 2. Okay. Now, if you have to find here the omega 2 by omega 1 ratio, omega 2 by omega 1 ratio, so it will be I2 by I1. Just do the substitution for I2 and I1. It will be R2 square by R1 square. I will be directly proportional to R2 square by R1 square. So this ratio we can take, right? So just do the ratio. This can be written as R2 can be written as R0 1 plus alpha delta T2 square by this can be written as R0 1 plus alpha delta T1 square. So this will be cancelled out anyway, and if you do the substitution here, initially we are taking it as normal, and the second time it is changing to 100. So the first case, this will be our 1. This initially will be our 1, and this is the change which we are measuring. So 1 plus alpha delta T, just substitute the value here. 1 plus 0.2 whole square it will come. Okay, so this will come as 1 plus 1.0 whole square. Basically what we have done, this ratio we have taken the ratio. So when you take the ratio of this two, I1 and omega 2 and I2 omega 2, this the first case when there is, what is the first case? A solid of mass, this is spinning about the diameter, the temperature increases by 100 degree without any disturbance in this. If the linear expansion of the material is this, the ratio of angular speed at 100 and omega naught is. So initially and final, this two ratio you have to take it. So if you take this two ratio, we will get as 1 by 1.04, and that will be the answer of this question. So this will come as 1 by 1.04, and that is the answer of this question, student. Let's move to the next one. Here, a solid whose volume does not changes with temperature float in a liquid at two different temperature T1 and T2. The fraction of volume immersed you have to find. So fraction of volume immersed, we have already solved this type of question. So fraction of volume immersed F1, if we write, F1 will be nothing but V naught 1 plus alpha delta T1. Okay. Similarly, fraction of volume 2 which is immersed will be alpha 1 plus alpha delta T2. Okay. We are taking it at T1 and T2, so we will take this difference as T1 and T2 only. So keep it as T1 and T2. Now you take the ratio of F1 by F2. So this will be nothing but V1 1 plus alpha T1 by 1 plus alpha T2, right? So if you see here, this will be cancelled out here. Now you cross multiply. So if you cross multiply, you will get F1 1 plus alpha T2, right, is equals to F2 1 plus alpha T1, right? If you simplify here, we are getting it as, F1 minus F2. This will come in this side, and this side if you check, we will get here F2 alpha T1 minus F1 alpha T2. Okay, we take alpha common, we need to get the value of the coefficient of absolute expansion, alpha we need to get it. So alpha if you take common, it will be F2 T1, right, minus F1 T2. This will be F1 minus F2. Okay, so you have to get alpha from here. So what will be alpha, students? Alpha will be F1 minus F2 by F2 T1 minus F1 T2, and that will be the answer of this question. So check from the option F1 minus F2, F2 T1, this is the correct answer, right? So we have just compared their expansion ratio, and just be careful on this calculation part. Many students make mistake in this part also. The apparent coefficient of expansion of liquid when heated in a copper vessel is C, and when heated in a silver vessel is S. If A is the linear coefficient of expansion of copper, then the linear coefficient of silver you have to find. So we know gamma apparent is equals to gamma of liquid minus gamma of vessels, right? Now if we find gamma liquid, it will be gamma apparent plus gamma of vessels. So this formula we have to use. Now if we use it first for copper, what will be gamma liquid for the copper? Gamma apparent. So gamma apparent of copper will use. Gamma apparent of copper is C, and if the linear coefficient of expansion of copper is A, so C plus 3A. Gamma of vessel we need, so 3 times alpha, right? So this will be gamma of liquid. Now for silver, if we use, the liquid is same, so we can write gamma L only. This we need gamma apparent for silver. What is gamma apparent for silver? Silver gamma apparent is S, plus we need to find the linear coefficient of silver, so plus 3 of vessel. So this equation we have to use, so 3 alpha. We can equate this to value. So on equating what we will get? C plus 3A is equals to S plus 3 alpha. From here alpha will be C plus 3A minus S by 3, and that will be the answer of this question. C plus 3A minus S by 3. This is the answer of this question. So let's move to the next question, student. Here a brass scale of a barometer give correct reading at 10 degrees Celsius. You have to find it at 20, what it will do at 20 degree. So delta T will be 10 minus 30, so it will be minus 20 degree. Okay, we have to find this correct reading. We know the formula P1 1 plus gamma Hg minus gamma of brass into delta T. Just substitute the value, students. This is 75, 1 plus gamma Hg is 175. This 10 to the power 6 is same, so we can use it later also. 20 into 10 to the power minus 6, and we have delta T as minus 20. So simplify this. When you simplify this, it will be coming around 74.8, and that will be the answer of this question. Okay, so let's move to the next question, student. This is the answer. So let's move to the next question now. Here a liquid occupies half of the vessels. A liquid occupies this volume. So VL is equals to half of V vessel. This is what it is given. The volume of the unoccupied part remain constant at all temperature. So the unoccupied part remain constant at all temperature. So if it means that if we have VB minus VL, this is constant at all temperature. So from here we can write VB minus VL is equals to VB dash minus VL dash. This will be fixed, right? So this is our equation 1. Now you have to substitute this VB minus VL. VB dash is at temperature T0. So if we write here VB dash, this is for vessel. So VB dash, students, it can be written as VB 1 plus 3 alpha delta T. Similarly, we can write VL also. VL will be equals to 1 plus gamma delta T. This is fixed, right? And this will be equals to VB minus VL. So if you simplify this, student, you will get 3 alpha delta T VB is equals to gamma alpha delta T VL, right? This is our expression which we will get. Now, student, what we have done, because it is the difference is constant at all temperature, the initial value, and we equated this difference with the final value. Just simplify this. Delta T we can cancel it. 3 alpha VB is equals to gamma into VL. Now we will use this, the relation VB and VL. So just substitute here the VB and VL. We can replace VL by half VB. So this, if we replace gamma into half BV, so this will be coming as 3 alpha BV. Now BV can be cancelled out. We will get gamma as 6 alpha, and that will be the answer of this question. So let's move to the next question now. Students, if gamma is the coefficient of real expansion of liquid, the temperature at which the density, liquid density is 1% of the density at this. So here dt is given as 1 by 100 d naught, d naught, right? This is 1%, so 1% means 1 by 100. Now students, we know dt, the temperature density relationship is d naught 1 plus gamma delta T. This is from expansion. From expansion we know this. This is given. Okay, equate this to. So d naught by 1 plus gamma delta T will be equals to 1 by 100 d naught, right? So this will cancel out here. Simplify this. 100 is equals to 1 plus gamma delta T. So this will be 99 is equals to gamma delta T. This T will be 99 by gamma. Then that will be the answer of this question. Okay. So that will be the answer of this question. Let's move to the next question, student. Pretty simple these questions are. Let's move to the next one. A piece of metal weight 46 gram in air. When it is immersed in liquid, its specific gravity is this. So if I have a body and here I place this something on this one, so the weight apparent will be equals to original weight in air minus buoyant force FB, right? So this mg dash will be equals to mg minus v rho g. So if you cancel this v rho g, so if you cancel this from here, we can get just gg m dash g. So this gg and this g will be cancelled out here. We will get v as m minus m dash by rho. This is rho. This is the general formula which we are getting for volume. Now first time what is given, the piece of metal is immersed in a liquid. Now the temperature is raised to 42 degree and the weight is 30.5 gram. So two conditions are given when weight in air. Now we write weight in air. It will be 46 gram. So this m is given. Now weight in liquid. Its weight is 30 gram. Okay. So from here and the density is given as 1.24. So rho is given as 1.24. So just substitute here. V1 will be equals to 46 minus 30 by 1.24. Similarly, we can do V2. V2 will be weight is 30.5 gram. So it will be 40 minus 30.5 gram by 1.2. So if you simplify this, this is V1 and this is V2 coming. Now you know for alpha or for gamma we know it will be V2 minus V1 by V1 delta T. This is how we need to get here the coefficient of linear expansion. So once we get gamma, from there we will divide it by 3, we will get alpha. So alpha will be V2 minus V1 by 3 V1 delta T. V1 already we have, student, V2 already we have. Just substitute here V1, V2 value and delta T. We can just find out what is the temperature difference, 27 to 42 degree. Okay, so this is the temperature difference. Delta T we can substitute from there. So if you simplify this, this will be coming around 2.2 into 10 to the power minus 5, and that will be the answer of this question. Okay. So apparent weight will be weight of air in minus buoyant force. So weight of air will be m dash g minus is equals to mg minus buoyant force v into density into g. So just take out this, we get volume V1. So this formula is there for the first case, this formula V2 we get for second case. Now gamma will be V2 minus V1 by V1 delta T. Just substitute in it, we need alpha, so it will be V2 minus V1 by 3 V1 delta T. So pretty simple expression for this one. If you got it, you will get the calculation and solve 2.2 into 10 to the power minus 5 will be the answer of this question. So let's move to the next one. Students, a graph of between pressure and volume in Boyle's law is given. So Boyle's law, volume between pressure and volume is given. Now the figure shows for different mass. So what we'll do, we'll draw a line parallel to this one. We'll check that one which is having the higher value of the slope will have, you have to find for different mass at same temperature what will happen. So if we have same temperature, from there we know PV is equals to nRT. We'll apply the Boyle's law condition here. This expression, this is for first graph. So from here M2, because it is having higher slope, it will have this M2 will be greater than M1 for this graph, right? We draw a line parallel to this and check this is the first and this is the second. This first and second, from here we just check that M2 will be coming greater than M1. Let's move to the next question, student. For an ideal gas VT graph, the curve at constant pressure is given. Again same expression, PV is equals to nRT will apply. Here we have to get a graph between V and T. So we'll write it, V will be equals to nR by P delta T. Now this is slope. So more is the slope, the more is the value of P, the less is the slope. So from here if you check, if for P more, slope will be less, right, because it is denominator. So for P1, it will be, P1 will be greater than P2 for this one, because it is having the slope value as it is. So if you check here, this P1 will be greater than P2. So all the graph question in this type of model, whether it is a previous question or this, we can analyze it from the ideal gas equation. So let's move to the next one. A collision frequency of a nitrogen gas molecule in a cylinder is 2 atm and the temperature is 17 degree. The radius is 1 angstrom. So student, here D will be, the radius is 2, so from here we can find the D value, it is given in angstrom, so we'll convert this into 10 to the power minus 10 value. Here R is given as 1 angstrom. So this will be 1 into 10 to the power minus 10. Okay. Now this P is given as 2 atm. So 2 into 1.01 into 10 to the power minus 5. Okay. Now we need to get the VRMS value first. So VRMS will be under root 3 RT by M. So T is given to us, R value we know. Just substitute here in this expression, you will get VRMS. VRMS will be coming as 508.24. This is VRMS. Now we need to get lambda, students, here. So lambda will be KT by under root 2 pi D square into this P. Just substitute the values here, you will get lambda value as 1.1 into 10 to the power minus 7. Now for collision frequency we know it is given by VRMS by lambda. Yes, VRMS by lambda. So collision frequency we got already VRMS. VRMS is 508.24 and lambda is 1.1 into 10 to the power minus 7. If you simplify this, this will come as 4.6 into 10 to the power 9 a second. This is the answer. Now if you remember how we can remember this, we know collision frequency is VRMS by lambda. If you see here, frequency is reciprocal of time period, right? So speed is equals to distance by time. Okay, so VRMS is the speed which we have taken, distance is taken as lambda, and this 1 by time period is frequency. So frequency will be V by lambda. This is how we get. Okay, so this collision frequency is how we can just solve for collision frequencies Vrms by lambda. Okay, so let's move to the next question, student. Students, the root mean square velocity is this, Vrms average velocity is this. You have to find how they are related. So Vrms, we know it is under root 3 RT by M. Now if you check VMP will be under root 2 RT by M. Now if you check here, we have to find it for V average. So V average, it will be 8 kT by M pi. This is the value we are getting for V average. So if you take the ratio of VMP, V average and Vrms, it will be 1:0.9 to 0.82. Okay, so that will be the answer. We check that this ratio is coming in this format. So from here we can analyze which one is more. Okay, from here we can analyze which one is more. The ratio will be this. Pretty much expression is useful in our calculation. So you have the idea of this ratio, you can take, this is the ratio. From here we can easily equate which one is more, which one is less. Okay, so let's move to the next question, student. A block of ice at minus 10 degrees Celsius is slowly heated and it is converted into ice. Okay, one of the following curve represent this. So when it is slowly heated and converts, so first there will be a rise in temperature, then there will be a change in state, then again there will be rise in temperature, and then it will change of state. So this graph is the correct expression for this one. Otherwise, all other graphs are not the correct expression. So if you analyze all this all will be incorrect. This is the correct question for this one. So ice first minus 10 to, there will be 0 degrees Celsius, then there will be change of state, then again it will be rise in temperature, and then it will be change of state. So this is what it is happening. Rise of temperature, change of state, rise of temperature, change of state. So this is how we have to proceed. Let's move to the next question. Students, the ratio of thermal capacities we have to find. So ratio of thermal capacity is nothing but Ms we have to find. So M1 S1 by M2 S2 we have to calculate it. This M can be written as volume into density, because this volume ratio of radii are given, specific it's are given, and their densities are given. So V1 rho 1 S1 by V2 rho 2 and S2, right? So this ratio we have to compare, R1 by R2. This is what we have to calculate. So V can be written as 4 by 3 pi R1 cube rho 1 S1 by 4 by 3 pi R2 cube rho 2 S2. So from here if we take 4 by 3 pi will be cancelled out here. This will be R2 cube like this. Okay. So 4 by 3 pi will cancel out here. It will be R1 by R2 whole cube rho 1 by rho 2 S1 by S2. Okay. Now if you have to just substitute the values here, radii are in the ratio 1:2 whole cube. The specific heat are in the ratio 2 by 3. So 2 by 3, and densities are in the ratio 3 by 4. So just substitute and solve, you will get the answer as 1 by 16, and that will be the answer of this question, student, right? So let's move to the next question. Students, two ideal containers, each of volume V0 and V1 are joined by a small pipe. So I have the container like this, it is joined by a small pipes here. The container contain an identical gas at temperature T0. So the initial V0, T0 and pressure P0. Okay, so initially they are like this. Now one container is heated to temperature T0. So this is the initial condition, P0, V0 and T0. Okay, so if we use PV is equals to nRT from here what we can know? We know N will be equals to PV by RT. Students, the number of mole, if I denote here N1 and N2, after heating it will become N1 dash and N2 dash. This number will be same, number of mole will not change. N1 plus N2 will be equals to N1 dash plus N2 dash. This number will not change, number of moles will be fixed initially and afterward. So if we write here the initial condition, it will be P naught V naught by R T naught, okay, and for the second one it is also P naught V naught by R T naught. This, if we equate here, this second expression, this one container is heated to temperature 2 T naught, okay. So let's take that this first container is heated to a temperature 2 T naught, okay, while maintaining the other at the same temperature. This is maintained at the same temperature T naught only. So if you heat the other one at the same temperature and if you keep the first one as it is, so what change it will make? So it will make the change as P1, P will change now, this P will change, right? So this P naught will be now P. So both side it will be same pressure. So P into this V naught, one container, volumes for both will be same. So it will be P V naught by R. First container is heated to 2T. So it will be T naught if we keep the first one, and the second one is 2T naught. Okay. If you simplify here and solve for the relation between P and P naught, you will get P will be equals to 4 by 3 P naught. This is the expression which we are getting between P and P naught. Students, now we have to solve for N dash. Find the, if you have to solve for the equation N dash, we substitute this P naught, this P naught here. So this P naught, if we substitute here in this N dash equation, P V naught by 2 R T naught. This is our N dash, it will be coming, this new N dash. Okay. Now if you substitute here this P value in this expression, you will get N, that is the total number of mole, that is the addition of these two. So that will be equals to N1 dash plus N2 dash. Just simplify this to expression, it will be coming 2 by 3 P naught V naught by R T naught. Just substitute this N dash here and you will simplify this expression. So N dash, if you substitute and simplify this, because one is at temperature 2 T naught. So if you simplify this, this is our N coming, and that will be the answer of this question. Okay. So number of moles we have equated basically here, number of moles will be same. This concept will be same, we have used. So let's move to the next question, student. Now we have the next section. Here this section have 5 questions, and the numerical means they are given with the marking scheme +4 and 0. Okay, so let's move to the next section now. Check the first question here. A clock keep correct reading times at 10 degree. It loses 17.28 seconds. Then the temperature of the day will be, you have to find what will be the temperature of day. So loss here is given. So loss is given as, we can find the loss per day. It will be half alpha delta T into T. T will be the 24 hour. So if you substitute here half into alpha value is 20 into 10 to the power minus 6. Then the temperature of the day will be, so this delta T we have to solve, and this is nothing but 86400 per second. This is given as 17.28. Student, if you simplify here, delta T will be coming as 20 and T we have to calculate. So T will be 30. So T will be T2, that will be T2 will be 30 because initially it is 10. So their change will be, so n into 3. So n will be 3 for this question, right? So let's move to the next question now. Pretty simple expression for this one. The temperature compensated pendulum designed to compensate the change in the length due to the temperature is this. Figure shows one pendulum. It consists of an isosceles triangle frame. So this is an isosceles frame we have given. So if I take this as L1, this L2 and L2 will be same. Okay, if I have kept this as L1, so this height is given as h. So from this right angle triangle H can be found out here. H will be nothing but L2 square minus L1 square by 4, because this will be half L1 by 2, right? Now it is given that the pendulum is supported from this side. The pendulum is supported from midpoint of the side 80, so that's why you have taken L by 2. It remain horizontal. So this, it remain horizontal if we change the length also. So this H will be fixed for all the temperature. So H is equals to H dash. This is given here. Okay. So if we check here, H is equals to H dash, L2 square minus L1 square by 4. This will be equals to L2 1 plus alpha delta T2 whole square minus L1 1 plus alpha delta T1 whole square. This is L1 square by 4. Okay, students, here if you simplify it, L2 square and L1 square, this, if you simplify here L2 square, so this whole will be square here, and this L1 square. So this L1 is this whole square. So L1 square will be there. So this L1 square, and for this whole term will be, first we can remove this root, right? Both sides squaring will remove this root, and this L2 whole square will be cancelled with this first term here. Okay, so this L2 square whole term will be cancelled out with first term here. You have to find the ratio of L1 by L2. So L1 by L2, if you solve here, L1 by L2, this ratio you have to calculate. So this ratio will come in terms of this alpha 2 and alpha 1 here. For this it will be alpha 2, and this it will be alpha 1. So this will be coming in terms of alpha 1 and alpha 2. If you simplify here, it will be coming as alpha 2 by alpha 1 like this. Just simplify this L1 and L2 relationship, square and add, it will be coming for L1 by L2 will be 2 alpha 2 by alpha 1. Okay, we have removed this square root both side. L2 square cancelled with this L2 square, L1 square by 4 cancelled with this L1 square by 4. Now you have to just simplify for this expression. So this minus sign you can take it one side and simplify it. You will get L2 by L1 relationship, that will be coming as this. So this P value will be coming as 2. Let's move to the next question, student. The temperature of equal mass of 3 different liquid state A, B and C are 15, 30 and this, when A and B are mixed. So when A and B are mixed, student, when A and B are mixed, M into SA into delta T. So equilibrium temperature when A and B are mixed as 18. So it will be 18 minus 15 will be equals to M into SB. SB is this 20 minus 18. So from here MM will be cancelled out, here we will get SA by SB will be nothing but 2 by 3. We name this as equation 1 when B and C are mixed. Okay, when B and C are mixed, so M into SB delta T is 22 here, equilibrium temperature. So 22 minus 20 will be equals to M into SC. the equilibrium temperature is 20 and this temperature is C temperature is 30. So 30 minus 22, right? Because the equilibrium temperature is this one. So MM can be calculated out. Be careful in the calculation part here. So we will get SB by SC. SB by SC as this will be 8 by 8, right? 8 by 2. So this will be coming as 4. Now you have to find the equilibrium temperature when A and C are mixed. So when A and C are mixed, student, similarly we can write MSA. MSA, the equilibrium temperature is given, are mixed 30 by 12 times the temperature. So this is the equilibrium temperature. So 30 by 11 T, equilibrium temperature, minus A temperature we are doing. A temperature is 15. Okay, A temperature is 15 is equals to MSC, and this is 30 minus this equilibrium temperature, 30 by 11 T. Okay, so MM can be cancelled out here. SA and SC you can replace it here. You can write here SA will be equals to 2 by 3 SB. Similarly, you can write here SC will be equals to SB by 4. So SB will be cancelled out here, right? So we can write here SA will be 2 by 3 SA, 30 by 11 T minus 15 will be equals to SC, SB by 4, 30 minus 30 by 11 T. So SC we have replaced here, and SB will be, this is 2 by 3 SB. So this can be cancelled out here, SB, 2 by 3, and here we have 1 by 4. Simplified, T will be getting as 7. And that will be the answer of this question. Okay. So pretty simple expression. Let's move to the next one. Steams at 100 degrees passed into 1.1 kilogram of water contained in a calorimeter, equivalent to 0.02 gram at 15 degree, till the temperature of the calorimeter and its content rises to 80 degree. The mass of the steam condensed in kilogram. So first we will find for water and calorimeter. So we will find how much is the heat liberated when water and this will replace. So when write this M1C1 delta T plus M2C2 delta T. Initially we have taken water and calorimeter. We will find the heat exchange during this one. So if you simplify this, it will be coming to be around 72.8. Now let M be the mass of steam condensed. Let M be the mass of steam condensed here. So we'll write it as Q2. So Q2 will be, first there will be change of state plus M as delta T here. So this two has to be equated, right? So Q1 has to be equal to Q2. Just equate the two value. We have to get M from this expression. We have to get this M. So 72.8 is equals to ML. L we can take it for the steam rise, it will be 543 plus M, this we have to calculate. C will take 1 delta T. Just delta T value is also given here. Change of state will find. So M you can simplify from here. M will be coming at 0.13, and that will be the answer for this question. So whatever heat which is exchanged from here will be equal to the heat required for the steam to condense. So steam will condense here at 100 minus 80. Okay, so just substitute that value. M will be 0.13. Okay, so Q1 we calculated, Q2 we calculated, equate the two expression, and from there we will get the value of M. Let's move to the next question, student. This is the last question for today. An ideal gas is trapped with a mercury thread of 12 centimeter and closed lower end at a narrow vertical tube of cross section 20.5. Okay, the cross section is given 20.5 here. Now since the temperature is same, we can write P1 V1 is equals to P2 V2 right? Now in other section what is given, this tube is making 30 degree with the horizontal in the other section if you do it. So if we write here the P1 V1 expression, we can write it as 76. Initially the thread is 12 centimeters, so 76 plus 12, and V1, the air column which it is making is 20.5. This is equated with the second time when this component, the height will be 12 sine 30, because the angle is making 30 degree with this one. So 76 plus 12.5, this 12 sine 30, 76 plus 12 sine 30, if we take, sine 30 is half, right? 76 plus 12 sine 30, this L2 we have to calculate. We have just equated the two. This is P1, this is P2, okay, this L1 and L2 ratio we can equate it from there. So if you simplify it, we have to simplify for L2. If you simplify it, L2 will be coming as 22 centimeter, and that will be the answer of this question. So here we come to the end of today's paper discussion, student. If you analyze all the question carefully, you will get a good clarity of overall concept. So that's all for today. Thank you.